We pray for those lives taken, both Israeli and Palestinian, and for the grieving families left behind. Not only do we pray for peace,
we're going to get to the Super Bowl in a second, and it'll be a lighter load, don't worry.
For both the Palestinian people and the Israeli people. And I'm working on this day and night with the king and others in the region to find the means to bring all these hostages home, to ease the humanitarian crisis, and to end the terror threat, and to bring peace to Gaza and Israel. Then enduring peace to build something more enduring.
It's a little bit better.
Over the past month, I've had calls with Prime Minister Netanyahu, as well as the leaders of Egypt and Qatar, to push this forward. The key element of the deals are on the table. There are gaps that remain, but I've encouraged Israeli leaders to keep working to achieve the deal. The United States will do everything possible to make it happen. The King and I also discussed the situation in Rafah. As I said yesterday, our military operation in Rafah, the major military operation in Rafah, should not proceed without a credible plan for ensuring the safety and support of more than 1 million people sheltering there. Many people there have been displaced multiple times, fleeing the violence to the north, and now they're packed into Rafah, exposed and vulnerable. They need to be protected, and we've also been clear from the start. We oppose any forced displacement of Palestinians from Gaza. Today, the King and I also discussed in detail how to get more humanitarian aid into Gaza from the very beginning. My team and I have relentlessly worked to get more aid in. I urged Congress for months to make sure that our nation's support for Israel and also includes urgently needed aid for innocent Palestinians. And I've spoken repeatedly with partners across the region, including the King, to help facilitate the flow of such aid into Gaza as much as possible, and then to actually get to the people that are needed. We work to get the Rafah crossing open. We work to get Karim Shalom open. And we insist that both remain open. We're working to open other routes as well. And we're also working relentlessly to make sure aid workers can get the aid where it's needed once it gets through. I want to recognize Jordan and the King specifically for all he has done to provide humanitarian aid to Gaza, including just a few days ago. He personally got in a plane and helped conduct an airdrop of urgently needed medical supplies into Gaza. I understand that 2 of his children have also joined those airdrops. They help fly humanitarian supplies in. And for years, the Queen has been a passionate advocate for the Palestinian people, particularly women and children. Your family's leadership, Your Majesty, and humanitarian commitment are commendable. And at the same time, we're working to create the conditions for a lasting peace, as we talked a lot about upstairs. With the Israeli security guaranteed and Palestinian aspirations for their own state fulfilled. I say this as a lifelong supporter of Israel. That's the only path that guarantees Israel's security for the long term. To achieve it, Palestinians must also seize the opportunity. As discussed with the King today, the Palestinian Authority must urgently reform so it can effectively deliver to the Palestinian people in both the West Bank and Gaza. Once Hamas's control of Gaza is over, they must prepare to build a state that accepts peace, does not harbor terrorist groups like Hamas and Islamic Jihad. And together, we will keep working to complete what we started, to integrate the region, to bring about peace between Israel and all its Arab neighbors, including the Palestinian state. That effort was already underway before.
Another reason why Biden seems weak and human is that he never really seems upset or angry at any cause when his old man cursing moves with personal gripes.
No one understands better than our allies and partners in the region, including the King, what we need. I'm grateful to him for his friendship, including his and Jordan's unique role, a custodian of the holy sites in Jerusalem. We're grateful for this friendship. We saw that again just 2 weeks ago, when 3 brave American service members killed in an attack at a military outpost in Jordan, close to the Syrian border, by radical militant groups backed by Iran operating in Syria and Iraq. Since then, U.S. military forces have struck targets in Iraq and Syria. Our response will continue. We're grateful to our partners and allies like the King, who work with us every single day to advance security and stability across the region and beyond. It's difficult times like these when the bonds between nations are more important than ever. And Jill and I are pleased to welcome him and the Queen.
I feel like bringing up the president of I mean not the president, sorry, the king of Jordan to talk about Palestine is like kind of indecent. Especially because I feel like it's PR to get the dumbass Americans to think like, well, that's an Arab. Right? They all agree. See, them Arabs also. See, Biden is next to an Arab and he's not saying swear words. You know what I mean? Look, everything seems fine.
Our countries this year mark 75 years of exemplary strategic partnership. However, we had hoped we would be marking this major milestone during better circumstances in my region and the world. Unfortunately, one of the most devastating wars in recent history continues to unfold in Gaza as we speak. Nearly 100,000 people have been killed, injured, or are missing. The majority are women and children. We cannot afford an Israeli attack on Rafah. It is certain to produce another humanitarian catastrophe. The situation is already unbearable for over 1 million people who have been pushed into Rafah since the war started. We cannot stand by and let this continue. We need a lasting ceasefire now. This war must end. We must urgently and immediately work to ensure the sustainable delivery of sufficient aid to Gaza through all possible entry points and mechanisms. And I thank you, Mr. President, for your support on this. Restrictions on vital relief aid and medical items are leading to inhumane conditions. No other UN agency can do what UNRWA is doing in helping the people of Gaza through this humanitarian catastrophe. Its work in other areas of operation, especially in Jordan, where 2.3 million are registered, is also vital. It is imperative that UNRWA continues to receive the support it needs to carry out its mandate. The potential threat of Palestinian displacement beyond the borders of Gaza and the West Bank is something we view with extreme concern and cannot be allowed. At the same time, we must not ignore the situation in the West Bank and in the holy sites in Jerusalem. Nearly 400 Palestinians have been killed in the West Bank since October 7th, including almost 100 children and over 4,000 injured. Continued escalations by extremist settlers in the West Bank and Jerusalem's holy sites and the expansion of illegal settlements will unleash chaos on the entire region.
Biden should go meet with the Christians of Lebanon next to see what they think is good for the Palestinians. Yeah. Well, he's Christian too, no? Or no, I mean, it's Abdullah. I don't know. Is he? No, he's Muslim. No, he's Muslim. I mean, Abdullah wouldn't be Christian probably, but he's Sunni. Come on, dude. What? My bad, bro. A lot of all of my buddies in all of my buddies in
all attacks against
Jordan
innocent civilians
that I knew in college were all. Dude, I don't care about what he has to say. This is boring. We're gonna move on from this.
As I had previously stressed, we must make sure the horrors of the past few months since October 7th are never repeated.
All my buddies that I know from Jordan are Christian.
By any human being.
It's all like the 1%ers.
Together, along with Arab partners and the international community, step up efforts to reach a ceasefire in Gaza and immediately start working to create a political horizon that leads to a just and comprehensive peace on the basis of the two-state solution. An independent, sovereign, and viable Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. But living side by side.
They're all Christian Jordanians because most Jordanians are Palestinian refugees. Yeah.
Peace and security. This is the only solution that will guarantee peace and security for the Palestinians and the Israelis. as well as the entire region. Your leadership, my dear friend, Mr. President, is key to addressing this conflict, and Jordan is ready to work, as always, with you towards peace. Thank you.
The fact that Jordan is calling out everything and supporting UNRWA to the U.S. is a massive important thing. I mean, dude. As far as I understand, his take is like he'll say this stuff, but ultimately, as far as I understand, like the Jordanian monarchy is like relatively suppressive, even though the queen will come out and is of Palestinian descent and will come out and say like wonderful things. It's more so the actions that matter. And you know, it's basically like an American outpost or Western backed outpost. There's a U.S. military base. Guys, the Tower 22 that was shot at with a drone was literally on the border, like on the Jordanian border with Syria. And it's an American military base, American secret military base that's like perfectly positioned, smack dab in the middle. Words can have ripples, though. I doubt it. It's a desperate attempt at Biden trying to get the Zoomer and Arab vote, but everyone knows Jordan is not a player. Yeah. I mean, it's not, in my opinion, it's not as bad as like hyping up the Palestinian Authority overall, but it's like on the same wavelength as doing that from someone who is like, if you are Arabs, Muslims, specifically, Christian and Muslim Arabs, are very tuned in to the interests of Palestinians. They understand the plight perfectly, okay? They've seen the Western side of Western imperialism. They have family members there. They understand, like, when someone in America says, like, oh, we're going to put the Palestinian Authority in power, they go, oh, fuck you. Oh, fuck you. The average American looks at that and goes, what do you mean? They're saying, like, your people will be in charge of your people. Like, that's good. Like, white Americans don't understand it. They think Biden is doing a great job when he says things like the Palestinian Authority will control the Gaza Strip. Okay? That is a non-starter for like 95% of Palestinians. That's like, are you out of your fucking mind? Are you on crack cocaine? That's why I always try to show you the actual opinions of the people on the ground. The Palestinian Authority is less popular, almost as popular as Israel is, okay, in the eyes of the Palestinians. Like they're like beating out Israel by like 2 points or something because the Palestinian Authority is seen as an extension of Israel. And they're correct. Palestinians that say that are correct. So it's in the same line as like trotting out the Jordanian king to be like, look, you know, we care. He's a fucking Arab guy. Go ahead, see? The Arab guy. We're collaborating with the Arabs. They're all the same. It's kind of like that. For lip service. I mean, maybe it'll work. Maybe it works. I don't know. For the liberal audience, maybe. So, he's half English, only 50% Arab. So, look at their flag. It's close enough. Yeah, sure. Rump state like Vichy France, as another chatter said. Yeah, okay. So,